Alright, we are recording, and I can actually delete some of the files that I forgot to there. Okay. So yeah, continuing going medieval. Key was originally provided by Tinsley PR. And I need just a little bit of a moment to appreciate my insanity. Because so many years ago, I wrote a script in Python that is what generates my YouTube thumbnails. Because I had the thumbnails originally created as a graphic, and I just put some text in there that this Python script will then read through and replace with whatever. So it iterates, it counts up, and it's just, I don't think I ever designed that thinking in terms of triple digits, but it's like, it should work. I haven't even looked at the code to confirm, but it's like, it should work. Let's just drag and drop to go up to 120. Hope I won't be going that long. Because this is 100, I already had 100. I've not really looked at it, but it's like, yeah, let me just push up to 120. Worked perfectly. Not even a question. It was like, yeah, here you go. Yeah. It's nice to be able... Why is this one not off? It's just nice to be able to put something together like that and just see it continue to work. They really need building selection, room selection. Anyhow, do not have too much to talk about, unfortunately. It doesn't seem to have been, for what I typically write up, be that interesting of a week. But one thing kind of neat. So Metal Eden, I'm trying to remember. I think it's coming out in May. Like it's only a month away. Don't remember now. But they have put out a new demo, which has chapters 1 and 2. Sorry, 0 and 1. Mission 0 and 1 in there. And there's no time limit on it. Have fun. They put that, but one thing kind of neat. And I do like this. I'm not going to take part in it, but I do think it's really neat. They have decided to run a contest with it, a speedrun contest with speedrun.com, where if you... Okay, I would rather you haul that. Anyway. But yeah, so if you download the demo, and try to complete it in the fastest time you can, and you need to live stream it, you do need to have that going, you can enter the run, and there's a total prize pool of $1,000. First place gets 500, second place gets 300, third place gets 200, and there's also some participation rewards. But yeah, there's more information in the Friday news write-up. But it's speedrun.com has it. I'm not sure if it's mentioned on the Steam store page, but yeah, it's like that. That's actually kind of neat. I like that idea. I guess if there's one criticism I would have for something like that, it would be... Okay, so you are set to do that. I'm not sure how much I care that you're unhappy. It would be that... I mean, true, the money isn't really that relevant with the game, but the participation rewards, I don't remember if some of those were like in-game stuff, because there's a part of me that I don't like it, and this is true for pre-order stuff as well. Things that are exclusive, because to me, I see that as you're forcing some... What if you have a fan that comes to a game later? Now they don't have the opportunity for something, and I don't like that. Which is why it is nice when a game is like, yeah, this is more of a timed exclusive. That, yeah, it's a pre-order bonus, but, you know, if you give us... that is interesting. But, you know, after a few months or something, you then see it be open anyone can purchase it. It was just free at the when pre-ordering. That I find to be something I like a lot better. And then there's also I'm weird. I'd be a guy saying, okay, so we're going to like turn this. We move the DRM after a few months, right? There actually is. I don't remember how long it is, but there's a time period that it's like if you want to make your money back within the first, I think it might be 3 months actually. And if you don't, then the game is considered a failure. Which is kind of funny because you do see some games that it's like, yeah, they just have a long tail. They end up getting more sales later on. I think Mirror's Edge is an example of this. I mean, to be fair, that is a niche game. It is gonna work out that way. But my brain just turned off again. But I would be the guy saying, okay, well, once we're past that point, why don't we just strip out the DRM? Because some of the DRM, people have found it does have an impact on performance. And there's also a definite argument that, I think it's De Novo, I think there's other ones as well, that they actually infiltrate, they make changes to the system's kernel. Which is really kind of scary, because that's the kind of thing where, like, viruses that attack that are called rootkits and are very dangerous. And it's like, yeah, we're just designing this software to intentionally do that. It's like, yeah. I mean, it is bad enough that I could almost believe that there are people out there, I don't know how many, that would be like, yeah, I'm going to buy your game, but I'm never going to install that version of it. I'm going to find a pirated version. I could believe that there are people that would do that just because I don't want that tampering on my system. I don't want to, rob you of your money. I just, of what you've earned, what you deserve. But it's like, I don't want that on my system. Yeah, I could absolutely believe that there are people doing that. So it's like, I would be that guy at a company being like, yeah, so at what point are we going to turn off the, this stuff? Are we going to remove this stuff? And for anyone being like, well, why would we do that? It's like, well, because we don't need it at this point, right? I mean, the game is either going to be a success or a failure by this time anyway. So why don't we just at that point, strip it out. And the funny thing is, I would bet that if you were to do that and let that be publicly known, you would see at that 3-month mark or whatever it is, a jump in sales, a boost in sales. That you would see people, that's when they would be purchasing it, or you'd see people purchasing it earlier, but you would see the player count increase then. And also, I just want to add something else. That this is one reason why it is a fact Steam is itself DRM. It implements DRM and all that. But Steam also does something else. It competes with piracy. It doesn't just have anti-piracy methods. It also competes with piracy. That's part of the point with the Steam sales. Because there's certainly plenty of people that would be... Let's use GTA 5 as the example. Which actually, why not look it up right now? I wanted to check what the current price is. Steam? Okay. Need to find the other version of it. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Alright, that's not bad. But here, let's say the GTA 5 Enhanced Edition is $30, but let's say that were $50 or $60 at the originally. With the sales, I mean, somebody might be like, yeah, I don't want to pay that much. I don't know if I'm going to like it that much, so pirate it. But if you instead, and I don't know how much trouble I may get in for this, but it is still, it's like, this is part of the reason why you do see sales or discounts after a period of time. Like here, it's GTA 5 Enhanced is at $30. There could be people where it's like, okay, $30, I'll spend that. I don't mind. I mean, it is a very legitimate thing that that plenty of people don't turn to piracy because they genuinely want to do that. They turn to it because they feel they have to. Or that they feel that there isn't a better option. Like, if it is I don't have the money to spend on a game like that, okay. Then that's where the sales come in. Steam putting on sales, like, okay, I'll buy it now. And then they get the legal version. So it's... Yeah, it is a very important aspect of... I don't want to say the hobby, but that technically is what it is. And yeah, I mean, it's... Yeah. I'm sorry, it's... I find some of this stuff interesting to think about. Because, and for one thing, I have to be actually on an insignificant level concerned with this with my books. No one buys them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it's just thinking about, how do you... just thinking about the concept of piracy, the creators' rights, customers' rights, things like that. And it is... You cannot just stomp out piracy. It doesn't work because there'll be people that do it because they're just curious if they can. There'll be people that do it because they feel they must. Well, the people that will do it just because they can, you're never going to be able to stop them. Okay, I mean, that is just a reality. But the people who feel that they must do it, they're the ones that you may be able to outcompete the pirates with, and they might achieve what you want. I guess another example might be something like, and I at the beginning of the year, I purchased a bunch of stuff. I think I may have mentioned it. I purchased a bunch of stuff, and mainly it was because I love Star Trek. I do. And just one thing that I've started doing, for some stuff at least, is I'll look to see, okay, what is the availability for certain things? Like, is it still available? Like, directly from Amazon. That is kind of a bellwether. If something is still shipped and is sold by Amazon, new, then it's like, okay, this is likely still in production. You should also look at the pricing. Because there's one thing that I'll bet if I look, it is either not on Amazon or very overpriced. Let me do that. Alright. Didn't take me too long. There. Yeah. So, this I bought years ago, and I'm glad I did. The Dick Van Dyke Show, the complete series on Blu-ray, which, for those of you that don't know the Dick Van Dyke Show, it's a classic sitcom, very well done. It truly has some episodes that are beyond hilarious. And I grew up with it. Like, my parents had us watching this in the house, so... I wasn't alive in the 60s. I did not grow up in the 60s. I feel like it at times, but... in any case, I wanted my own copy. My parents have their copy, but I wanted my own copy. And at one point I looked and I saw it listed on Amazon, new, this was years ago, but it was very near the list price. It's like, hang on, this has been out for a while. This should be discounted. And it wasn't. I think maybe even been like $5 or something over list price. It's like, I'm going to order this now. Because I don't know how much longer this is going to be out there. And when I had looked later, like a month or two after my set had come, what I discovered is that suddenly the price shot up. I think, and it wasn't being sold by Amazon anymore. And so it was one of those, I think I got one of the last ones that Amazon still had. And also I think they're out of print. I'm looking now. List price is $350. I think I actually, when I bought it, it was more like $250. But used buy used on Amazon is what I'm seeing here. So not even you can purchase it new from Amazon. It's only used. Starting at $387. So used is above new. Now, some people may be thinking, well, how can you watch it? Oh, jeez. So I'm just looking. Okay, there is collectible good. Oh, okay. So there's a 387 collectible, good quality. So that would still be used, potentially, but it is in very good shape. That ships from Amazon, but sold by somebody else. The other two, used good and collectible like new. The collectible like new is almost $600. My brain turned off a little bit as I was getting into those details there, but it is, I will buy things just because I'm concerned about that, about it disappearing. Now, that's right. Dick Van Dyke Show, you can find it streaming. Until you can't. I mean, that is one of the sad things with some of these shows. It's like, what happens when that stops streaming? Now there's people that won't be able to get it, won't be able to watch it, except by those places that are... So I actually kind of want to get to this. Like, there's still channels that will play it. And other classic television. Those do still exist. Or those of us that have our copies. We will ultimately be the only ones able to watch it once it disappears from streaming. And it's like, yeah, but it might also be those who pirated it. That's a terrible situation. But it's also a situation that, because of the whole, hey, we're not going to, maintain availability for the stuff, it's also a situation that is being produced. So eventually there will be no competition to the pirates for something like that. But the thing I was talking about beginning of the year, I was looking and I saw the Star Trek Voyager was only on Amazon, only ships and sold by other places. So it's like, oh no. If I want a copy, I have to order it. I should order it now before it disappears or just goes up in price. So I did order it. But it's like, I don't care that much for Voyager or Enterprise, but it still is I'm not ordering... which was very much I'm not going to order Voyager and not order the rest of the stuff. I already had the original series and animated series. So it's like, okay, yeah, I'll order TNG, I'll order Deep Space Nine, and I'll order Enterprise as well. And I also ordered the complete Stargate set as well, because I saw that was a little different, because it was that ships from as well? That was from VEI. It may have been sold by VEI, but ships from Amazon. I don't remember. But VEI is who makes it, who is manufacturing as well. So that's not so bad, but it still is this is a little concerning. Especially since I don't even know where... I don't even know where Stargate might be on broadcast television. I know it's streaming, but again, that's until it's not kind of thing. Well, it's technically, that's the same case with broadcast. But I do believe that broadcast can be a little safer in that regard. Because when somebody... For broadcast, when it's... how do I want to put it? You don't want to mess with your schedule when you're a broadcast station. Okay. So, with Star Trek, there's a channel called H&I, Heroes and Icons. They actually, Sunday through Friday, starting at 8, play one episode from each series, or each broadcast series. They don't touch the streaming stuff, and honestly, I don't even consider that Star Trek. To me, if it's not broadcast, I exclude it. Which it also happens to be. As much as I dislike Voyager and Enterprise, the stuff I've heard about for the streaming-only Star Trek stuff, Voyager and Enterprise sound amazing. In any case, I mean, it just, how are they screwing this up so badly? Anyhow, from 8 until 9, they play the original series. 9 until 10, TNG. 10 to 11, Deep Space Nine. 11 to 12, Voyager. 12 to 1 is Enterprise. And they do that every day but Saturday. And my suspicion with that, and well, they've been doing that for years, such that I could believe that is so profitable to them that enough people do watch that they will always try to ensure that they have the license to do so. They will pay whatever money they need to Paramount or whoever the rights holder is. There's another channel, MeTV. It's a different show. It's MASH. But they have years ago. It had been they would do an hour of it. I'm trying to remember if it was 7 to 8 or no. Yeah, if it was 7 to 8 or 6 to 7, I don't remember which hour it was. But no, it was 7 to 8. 6 to 7. Last time that they had something wasn't MASH Day, it was the 18th. But then they dropped that, and now 6 to 8, they do MASH. 2 solid hours of MASH, which, even if you like the show, I think it gets annoying. And I don't care for it as much as some people who actually like it. But in any case, I do not doubt that that channel, MeTV, that they will pay almost any amount to maintain that license. Because there's no way you are dedicating that many hours of time to this content unless it is of value. So it's like some stuff is going to be safe. Like, I've got no idea with Stargate. I don't know what channel would be playing. I mean, maybe Sci-Fi Channel, where it originally, well, where it ultimately was. Was it Showtime that had it first and then Sci-Fi Channel got it? I don't remember. Haven't had cable for years, so I don't know what Sci-Fi Channel's scheduling is like, but it still is that kind of idea. And it is funny because Stargate would probably, like, H&I could, if they got licensing for Stargate, they could play that, and they would probably see numbers not too dissimilar to what they see for Star Trek. But yeah, it is just, it is sad to see this stuff disappearing, because another way to put it is our culture disappearing. That's exactly what it is. And we have such capability to prevent that now, but that's not what is being done. Things are just disappearing. I mean, some things, yes, are being preserved, but a lot of things are not. So we have to make those efforts to keep the stuff around for ourselves and do so legally. But what happens when there comes a time when the only way to get something is either by pirates or by the efforts of pirates? And like, to use the Dick Van Dyke Show as the example, continuing with that, what if you see eventually somebody, like, it's no longer streaming, you can't purchase it anymore. Oh, wow. Hang on. Is there no food left there? Come on. Get through the saving. Come on. There is not. Okay. Cooking going up. But it would potentially be somebody, you know, like, the only way for new people to watch it would be if somebody were to start, like, pulling it off of the Blu-rays, pulling it off the DVDs, or if they stripped it out of streaming services, pulled the files down from the streaming services, if they then took those and made them available, which would be illegal. It absolutely would be. But that might be the only way to access some of this stuff eventually. And that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Okay. Yeah, maybe I should... Well, wait, no. Okay. Yeah, I think I actually need to change this. I want to make sure that, because it just occurred to me, I should probably make sure that this overlaps with the time when other people are able to do that. How did I get onto the topic, by the way? I don't remember. Because I remember talking about Metal Eden. with the speedrunners. That's right. The yeah, I remember now because of there's participation awards, and then I was talking about. I hope that if those are in game, I just don't remember. If those are in game, that they can be achieved by other means, so that you are not restricted to taking part in that thing. Because I mean, it's also like you have to live stream it, I assume, to even participate. Well, some people don't want to live stream. Some people don't want to make a YouTube account to set up live streaming. Some people don't know how to do that. Some people certainly don't want to make Twitch accounts or Kick accounts or Rumble accounts or whatever the hell else there is. So I mean that is actually very annoying. But if it is if it is something like, oh, you get an in-game item for taking part in this, and let's say it isn't just cosmetic, then it's like, let that be something you can purchase after the fact. It can be well after the fact, that's fine. But then I was talking about how I would be the guy that would say, let's after some appropriate period of time, you strip out the DRM. And then they got me talking on it. Okay. But one other thing about Metal Eden that I find a little curious, I seem to recall, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I seem to recall that being that they're talking about you also having a sentient ship that is with you and helping. And I remember thinking at the time, that reminds me a lot of Chorus. And, you know, which was a fun game. I enjoyed it. It has some flaws, but, you know, I enjoyed it. It wasn't a strong recommendation, but it was a recommendation. I haven't seen that mentioned at all in any press releases since. Okay, let me actually see if I can filter down to just those press releases. If I can type correctly. Okay. Yep, accompanied by your sentient spaceship, Nexus. That's from back in February. They've only been 3 press releases. That actually surprises me. I mean, it's also possible that now the place that sends me these PR messages, that PR company, they're pretty good at putting titles in the subject. Yeah, so it looks like it might only have been that first one. Huh. That mentioned it. Which I doubt is a mistake. I think it's more likely somebody else may have noticed the whole, doesn't it sound a lot like Chorus? And then they're like, oh, yeah, we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that there's distinction there, or maybe it's even that Nexus isn't that important to the game. So it's like, yeah, let's drop that. Not talk about that much anymore in the marketing, and you know, just keep focusing on the main character you play as. Which also, to be fair, would make sense because this looks like you are actually playing as the character. Asuka, I think is the name. Yes, Asuka. Whereas, so like Nexus is there to help you, whereas in Chorus, now you're technically playing as the ship because you're never playing as. Oh, I don't remember her name even. I don't remember his name either because the ship also has a name. But you're flying around in the ship. You're never walking around as the character. You are playing as her ostensibly because you're the pilot, but you are the ship from the camera view. That's what you are. I think next autosave, next midnight is when I'll stop. Yeah, that's. So this, it makes sense to focus more on the main character, on Asuka, because my understanding, I think it does say it's an FPS. Yes, adrenaline-fueled sci-fi FPS, and you're going to be using parkour skills, I think I'd seen, yeah, parkour traversal, so you will be outside the ship, probably for the bulk of the game. So that it makes sense to focus more on the character than on the ship. It's still funny to me that the ship is just not mentioned anymore. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I think about this game. I doubt I will. I got other things taking my time, so I doubt I will like download the demo. But there are certain things about this game that do intrigue me that I could see being good. I just don't know. And I don't have the time to commit to even this demo. So I don't know when I may have the time to like commit to playing the game if I were to buy it or get a review key. But yeah, I mean it is one of those things where I kind of set myself up to not be able to do a lot of things because I'm trying to focus as much time as I can on writing my book, the current book. And maybe I should have planned this a little bit better in my mind, or at least come up with better habits around that so I can more comfortably take time off from that to do other things. But also part of it that complicates it is probably I want to write this book because I actually really want to write the one after, but this one needs to come first. Yeah. So the one after I think will be easier for me to write quickly. So. But then also I thought this would be a quick story. It's currently my third longest. It's gonna be second longest. There. Yeah, because I'm in the 90,000s. My longest book is 195,000. Second longest is 103,000 words. And then third longest is 88,000. This one I'm already into the 90s, so it's third longest. It's probably gonna cross 100,000 and get to second longest. I really hope it doesn't become the longest. We'll see. But the one after that, I don't know. I mean, it is. All these stories will be as long as they want to be. That's just my writing style leads to that. Yeah. Yeah, I should. Well, no, I should put that one. Oh no, there is also limestone here. Okay. But yeah, and it's just. Yeah. Because that is so much my focus, I'm not comfortable with spending the time on other things like that. I mean, if I play games, they're distractions. This, I have a weekly commitment to doing, so I do it. And when Titan Quest 2 comes out and I switch over to that, it'll still be, I have a weekly commitment to doing these things, so I do them. Yeah. And it's also like, making time to write the news items. That's what I'm actually at OCC to do. It's the news items, not the reviews, so yeah. But in the future, I should probably try to figure out better ways to schedule my time. But it's also, I've got so many things taking up time and some of them I can't just cut out either, so yeah. I do what I can, and those things that are lower priority for one reason or another, I cut away. And I'll also add this, because there's a part of me that right now, because of how the time stuff is, if I were to start doing game reviews again, I'd probably start doing it mainly in older games. Games that games where my purpose would be more so to add my critique to the corpus of reviews, rather than finding out, do I like this game or not? Okay, so that would be like playing a game, some older game, classic game, that I have reason to believe I will enjoy. And then proving that, or disproving it, and being able to provide criticism for why. As opposed to, I know nothing about this game, jumping in and finding out if I like it or not. And it may sound harsh, but it is just basically this idea of, I don't want to be... I don't have a great deal of time anyway. I don't want to be spending on games I'm not going to like. And it's not like that's my job either. I mean, for people that live stream, which I don't believe count as reviews, but in any case, for people who live stream, I mean, it's like, yeah, they have to play games that they don't necessarily like, because that's part of the that's part of their job. It's part of the entertainment for the people watching them as well, to see them suffer. Which on the one hand, that sucks. But on the other hand, it is what you signed up for, so. Yeah. But that's where, if I were to play older games, not that I would live stream them, but that's part of the fun of it. And now I'm also just thinking, what older games can I think of that I would want to? I should actually drop that. So I'm just noticing some games I marked. Oh yeah, there's one, Strange Brigade. I got that. When did that come out? I got that very new release. I just totally have been forgetting about it. I do want to play it though. And that's one that I could review. Shenmue 1. Well, no, actually, I don't know. That's Shenmue 1 and 2. Rage is a game I do want to play at some point. That maybe review, maybe don't. But yeah, plenty of. It's just, yeah, the older games. But the ones I think I would enjoy, so. Or I have some other reason to be interested in playing them. But it's gonna be a while. I don't have the time for it all. Is how it is. Is how it is. Alright. See you next time.